Today I'm going to show you how I roast broccoli. Hi, I'm Aaliyah Millam. I'm the founder of the food blog Premeditated Leftovers and the author of Prep Ahead Meals from Scratch. Now, when I was growing up, broccoli wasn't my favorite vegetable, but I have discovered several different ways that I enjoy it, and it's actually growing on me. Okay, so first let's talk about it. One, the stems are completely edible. So when you're pulling them off, if you want to add more stems, I actually like the crunch of the stems a little bit more. That one has a little discolor than I do the florets on the top. And the other thing I like to do is I like to keep my broccoli a little bit crisp so it doesn't get too soft. And that helps keep it, makes it more palatable to me. Okay, so we're going to put in these long stems to add more crunch. Now, when you buy your broccoli this way or when you grow it from the garden, I just want to tell you one of the things, even though I said I'm not a huge fan of the florets, I love the stems. So what I do is I actually take a julienne peeler. It's kind of like, it's the same shape as your potato peeler, only it has these little edges, and you can julienne the stem and then use it in salads or stir fries. So if you don't think you like broccoli, it might be that you just don't like the florets. Okay, now let's get busy working on roasting this broccoli. So for broccoli, those florets just soak up the oil. So for 2 pounds of broccoli, I use 4 tablespoons of oil. So if you're only making a pound, then only use 2 tablespoons. I'm just going to drizzle it over the top. Now 4 tablespoons is a 1/4 cup. I find to have a little bit more control in my drizzling if I do it 1 tablespoon at a time. And we'll do one more, and then we're going to toss them. I'm actually going to have to grab a spatula. I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm going to just toss it because I want to coat as much of the broccoli as I can so that way the spices will stick to it. If broccoli gives you a stomachache when you eat it raw, you might find that it's a little bit easier for you to digest when it's cooked. Broccoli is a wonderful prebiotic. It's really good for us. So that's why I've continued to find ways that I enjoy it so that I will eat more of it. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of garlic. I love me some garlic. If you are not as big of a fan of garlic as I am, then you can use less. You can skip it if you want to. Okay. And I'm going to use 2 teaspoons of onion powder. I have these long teaspoons so I can get deep down in there. I buy my spices as much in bulk as I can. I'm a big fan of spices. Okay. And then I'm going to just do a 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt and a 1/4 teaspoon of coarse ground pepper. And here's my coarse ground pepper. I like the flavor on it when it's ground. For some reason, I just like it a little bit better. When you get a little tiny bit, you really feel the flavor of it. You taste the flavor. Okay. Now I'm going to toss these again just to evenly coat the spices onto the broccoli. Oops, one jumped off. Fortunately, the counter's clean, so I'm throwing it back in there. Okay, I'm going to spread these evenly on the pan, as evenly as I can. I could have grabbed probably a bigger cooking tray, but I was actually using it for cauliflower. So I like to batch cook a lot of different vegetables all in one day and then be able to use them throughout the week. Okay, so I've been preheating the oven at 450 degrees. I'm going to go ahead and put this in for 8 minutes, and I'll be back and I'll show you what I do next. All right, I just pulled this out of the oven. It was in there for 8 minutes. All I'm going to do is flip it over because I don't want one side to get too burnt. and it's cooked for 8 minutes now, and then I'm just going to respread it out, and then I'm going to bake it for 5 more minutes at 450, and it will be perfectly ready to eat. Only 13 minutes of cooking. It's such a fast, easy dish. All right, I've just pulled this out of the oven for the last 5 minutes, and I'm just going to stick a fork in it. I just want to make sure, that it's just gently fork tender. I want just a little bit of crunch to it. I don't want it to be soft and soggy. I've just found that I cannot eat soft broccoli. That's me. Maybe you can. Maybe you like it so much you can. And it's just gently browned. It's not really toasty dark brown. It's just a gentle brown. Bright green, still a little bit of crispness to it, just the way I like it. But if this is not the way you like it, if you want it crisper, cook it for a little less. Take off a minute or two. If you want it a little bit softer, add a minute or two. It's just really easy. At 450, it cooks so fast. But what if you're cooking something at 400? Just add extra time. It takes 15 to 20 minutes at, I'd say a little bit closer to 20 minutes, but 15 to 20 minutes at 400 degrees. It takes 13 minutes at 450. So you just have to adjust the time if you're cooking something else. But it is that easy. So I make a large batch, and then I will have it on hand. We'll eat it for dinner tonight. Then I'll use it to make lunches for meal prepping for my husband. And then if I have enough left over, I can add it to another dish, or I can just heat it up and serve it as a side dish on another day. Fortunately, my family will eat heated up vegetables. Okay, you'll find the link to this recipe below this video. If you are not following me, go ahead and do so, and that way you'll be notified when I share more quick and easy recipes.